Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Autopsy of Jane Doe. And this movie came out in 2016, and apparently this was a horror movie that was supposedly good, that people think is good, and I decided to give it a chance, and it was like 80 minutes long. I was like, okay, at least it's short, even if I don't like it. And that's all I got out of it. A short horror movie that was very bad. And I didn't like much about this movie at all. I liked the opening scene in terms of like what it was establishing, and I was like, okay, let's see what this is. And there were some nice camera movements that I kind of liked. I was like, okay, maybe this movie will look nice at least, and have like something to look at that's interesting visually speaking. And as far as positives go, that's all I have for this movie. And one thing that really bugged me right out of the gate were the jump scares. I was kind of caught off guard because I did not think that this movie was going to use jump scares, but learned my lesson there. This movie definitely uses them, and what makes them worse is that they're kind of false scares at times. They also use, on top of a character just being scared for no reason, and also they add in like these sound effects that make it very manipulative and annoying, and I don't understand why this movie did that. It was just stupid and unnecessary. I also wasn't a fan of the music choices. I thought it was just clashing with the horror tone of the movie, and the overall mystery and story that we got I didn't care for, because we don't really get much of a plot until like an hour through the movie. And by that point, it's like, why do I even care? And as a horror movie, it wasn't really working for me. And as a mystery movie, like, or mystery crime, whatever, I guess it was a little bit better at that than being a horror movie. While I was watching this movie, I kept thinking to myself, why did this movie need to be a horror movie? It could have just been like a mystery film as to how this woman was killed. And it was just from the perspective of these people performing the autopsy. And I thought that it would have made a much more interesting film. And there would be some things you could explore there, and you're slowly figuring out the mystery of how this happened. And unfortunately, that's not the film that we got. What we got was a film that just took forever to get going. I don't like any of the characters. I didn't think any of the performances were very good. It was just a very bland movie that offered me nothing, and it was just a bunch of things that we've seen in horror movies, and like a billion of them, and it never had anything original or unique. It was just everything that we've seen. This is also one of those movies where it'll leave you scratching your head as to why characters didn't make certain decisions. Like the main character, like he's doing the autopsy with his dad, and he can leave at any point that he wants, but he chooses not to for some reason. I don't know why. This is also a film that's incredibly boring, and it's also a film that makes up rules as it goes along, and nothing makes any sense. And I don't understand what this movie was trying to be. It's like a horror movie, kind of mystery, kind of random things happening for no reason. I don't really get what this movie was trying to show or anything. What was it trying to communicate? Nothing. It's just a film that showed nothing for an hour and a half. And the only entertaining parts of this movie was when it was funny bad, which is a very few times. At like certain moments that were just kind of funny to me. I think it was when like the dad character got thrown into the side in the bathroom, and the door was magically locked. Like the way that was presented, I think that was one of them. But also another thing that I forgot to mention is that I think this movie is way too dark. There are scenes in this movie that are so poorly lit that you can barely make out what's happening or what's being shown. Like you really have to squint or turn up your brightness to full. Like It's one of those. So in the end, The Autopsy of Jane Doe was a movie that failed. It was not scary. It was not compelling. It was not interesting. It was very boring and very much a gigantic waste of time. The only positive I can kind of say about this movie is that it was short. That's about it. So avoid this movie. I don't think it's good. Apparently a lot of people like it. And that's about all I have to say about it. So if you like this movie, more power to you. I just got nothing out of it. I just thought it was a horror movie that was no different from any other random bad horror movie that you could watch. That came out both at the time this movie was released and also today. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Autopsy of Jane Doe a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.